Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we're going to be talking a little bit about the cost of living crisis, but I'm going to be taking a slightly different approach because there's some things that are floating about that don't quite sit right with me. Anyway, we're all aware, guys, the prices of everything's been going up. We talk about electricity, we talk about the council taxes, we're talking about pretty much everything. And of course, the prices of food is through the roof and it's only going to get worse. And it's understandable why. There is loads of articles online saying that a lot of people obviously struggling to feed the families, people have to now making choices, people can't afford to pay for certain things, people give up certain things. You kind of got the idea. We are all pretty much in the same boat where we do have to make some sacrifices. But there are a few things that are popping up on those articles that make me sort of raise the eyebrow a little bit. And I've read some before and I kind of brushed them under the carpet, but then they keep appearing. And the point is to, when they say to us, this is a cost of living crisis and people are struggling, and this is the reason why people resorting to eating ultra-processed foods. And I'm like, hold on a minute. Okay, so, and it's not just in one article, it's coming in from certain people, certain interviews. There seems to be a lot of influence there to tell people that, or to tell us, that the reason we are eating ultra-processed foods, because, well, this is cost of living crisis. People can afford to eat decent food, so people resort to eating ultra-processed food. And it got me thinking, surely not, right? We all know, okay, the prices of the food is horrendous, but I covered this in a few videos before, the prices of specific ultra-processed foods are even more horrendous than the fresh fruits and vegetables. So I thought, well, okay, let's do research and find out what are the 10 most popular ultra-processed foods in the United Kingdom. And then we're going to have a look at the prices. And then in the end of the video, okay, I'm going to have a look and say, well, actually, what are the healthier versions of the ultra-processed foods are. And we'll compare this per portion price. So first of all, okay, I totally understand that there are people that eat or resort to eating a convenient food because it is quicker. And what in somewhat on the first eye will look like it's a little bit cheaper. But again, please don't confuse that with being convenient. Okay, not having lack of time or lack of knowledge how to cook, with the agenda that they're pushing in, saying, well, it's actually cost of living crisis that pushes people towards that. Because, and I'm saying this, that I'm feeling like it is an agenda, because it seems to be happening quite a lot. It's almost like make us to think like, well, this is okay to eat this nonsense. It's full of all the stuff you don't want, but it's okay to eat that because, you know, we're in a cost of living crisis, so it's okay for you to resort and damage your health by eating rubbish, okay? This is my point, okay? If you actually read these articles when they are talking about cost of living crisis, pay attention now as planted that seed, that they do mention a lot of saying eating rubbish is the reason we're doing this because the food is so expensive. So, right, briefly, going to go through with you the top 10 of the ultra-processed foods in the United Kingdom. And I'm going to tell you why they are ultra-processed or what makes them ultra-processed. So now let's have a look. So, number one, we have instant noodles. So instant noodles, they're the ones come in that little packet or the pot, in fact, depending what you go for. But the reason they count is the ultra-processed foods. So they've got artificial flavors, enhancers, MSGs. I cover the MSGs and noodles in my food exposed videos. Absolute eye-opener. I suggest please have a watch that video if you haven't. So you've got preservatives and deep-fried noodles that fried in a very old, unhealthy oil. This is just a small portion or part of what they have. Number two, ultra-processed food is actually pizza, frozen pizza. In fact, even the fresh pizza. We've got processed cheeses, stabilizers and crust, preservatives and meat, and artificial flavors, and in sometimes colorings. So, next one, number three, is actually breakfast cereals. The ones that come in the boxes, you know, the ones that pretty much cost like £4 or £5 a box, have an array of different in numbers. We've got high fructose syrups, flavorings, and some puffed or extruded grains. Anyway, the whole array of things in there that we don't want. Number four, we have biscuits. It's applicable to pretty much 99% of the biscuits. They quite often have palm oil, some rapeseed oils, other oils, emulsifiers, preservatives, artificial flavorings, and of course, in many cases, in numbers, especially if the biscuits come in the various shades of pink and yellow and green sometimes. Number five, of course, we're talking about the crisps. Again, it's on the list, so of course, we all know they're made or fried in refined oils, tons of in numbers, all the flavorings, and again, we covered the natural flavorings are in the food exposed before. Basically, that's anything that's in them. There's nothing good, nothing natural about them, even if majority of the times they do claim so. Then number 6 on the list is a fizzy drinks, soda pop, whatever you call this. It's totally, well, we know, right? We know they're full of stuff. So we're talking about carbonated water, artificial sweeteners, sugars, colorants, acids, and much, much more. Number 7, we're talking about ready meals. Again, anything from the fake meat, preservatives, stabilizers, artificial sauces, reconstituted ingredients, and things that pretend to be something that they're not. Chicken nuggets, okay, again, this is one of the worst things. I think it should be probably number 1 in the list of ultra-processed foods. So it's reformed meat, emulsifiers, flavoring, stabilizers, preservatives. For anybody who's unsure how the chicken nuggets are made, the ones that are actually shaped like a tear-shaped nugget rather than the free-form chicken pieces, they are literally reconstituted meat. And by the meat, I mean, like we're talking about the pre-grind carcasses, skins, and beaks, all sorts of stuff. Pretty much the same thing like what the really cheap hot dogs are made from, okay, when they mechanically process the parts of the meat in the bone. This is pretty much the same thing, but with the chicken. So when you cook your chicken nuggets, they all sort of, all the same shape, but they're all oozing off what looks like they're fresh, but they're not. You're just oozing some oil and some other artificial things. But anyway, this is number 8 on the list. Yogurts. What we call, probably majority of people may call them a dessert yogurts, because now yogurts are full of things. Again, we're talking about sugars, artificial fruit flavors, stabilizers, thickeners, xanthan gums, all sorts of things, right? In the yogurts, which again, they shouldn't be there. And the last one I've got is actually sandwiches. Apparently prepackaged sandwiches count as ultra-processed meat, but of course, this is derived from the fact the ingredients are currently used. So we're talking about preservatives in meat, sauces, emulsifiers in bread, modified starches and things like that. So depending whatever they put in it, it goes on the top of the bread that is full of 40 ingredients that only need to contain 7. So this is count as your ultra-processed food. Okay, so now this is hopefully a little bit of eye-opener. And again, let's talk about, guys, the fact is, again, this is not about the time or the knowledge. They always refer to that at people resorting to this kind of foods because it is cheaper, because it's cost of living crisis. I don't eat any of that apart from maybe occasional pack of crisps, occasionally as a treat, and cereal, again, occasionally for a little one as a treat at the weekend. But the point is, let's debunk the myth about it being really, really, really cheap, and this is why people resort of buying this, because, well, they're not really, okay? The only thing I might agree slightly on is being instant noodles. Instant noodles, they vary now from 35p, I think, to 45p. And of course, they can go up to like £1.60, I think, for a one in a pot of a particular brand. Again, those prices that are here, or the research I've done, is based on just one supermarket, okay? But the prices are pretty much similar across the whole range. And I've taken pretty much the bottom range of the cheapest part. Sometimes it's a middle range part, just to give us a comparison. So, instant noodles, 35p per pack. There's nothing in them apart from just fried noodles that are dried and some sachet with E-numbers and a lot of salt and sugar. That's that. So for example, okay, so 35p a pack or 45p a pack, this is your per serving. So at the same time, you can buy a pack of dry noodles, buy some vegetables and do your batch cooking, and you can get probably 10 portions. So we're talking about 3 to 4 pounds. You can get yourself 10 portions and freeze that, and then take this out on the day if you want it to be quick. So you're looking at then 30 or 40p per portion. Similar to the original noodle, but you'll get yourself far better, far more nutritional food. And again, it's just as quick. If you go to work, you take this out in the morning and they'll be defrosted for you. All you have to do just to warm this up. Right, next one is a frozen pizza. So the pizza, the very basic, cheapest one I found, it's £1.10. But of course, then slightly better ones, they're going into like 160, and there are some pizzas that are approximately £7. Again, we're not going for the most expensive ones. We're going for the box standard £1.10. So, okay. So, pizza consists of really ingredients we're talking about is the flour, water, and of course then yeast and toppings. You could actually get away with that without even having yeast, okay? You can just make it like a flatbread pizza. So, for approximately £3.85, you can get yourself some flour, which is about 70p. You can get yourself the little squeezy tube of tomato paste, which you can dilute with water to make yourself a pizza base. And then you can buy yourself a block of cheese if you wanted to for £2.50, and that will spread you across many pizzas. So altogether, you can make approximately 6 or 7 pizzas, okay, if not more, depending on the size. So they'll get you approximately 60 to 65p per pizza. Okay, you have to batch cook them, you have to prepare them because, you know, if you got cheese or you make yourself the sauce, I totally understand that. But, okay, we're talking about £1.10 to 60 to 65p. Okay, we're pretty much talking half price. And trust me, the pizza you'll make will taste far better than the nonsense you'll get in the basic pizza. And again, just to make you aware, the pizzas they are of the budgets, the price I'm talking about, generally vegetarian pizzas or have very little meat or whatever content you call them on the top of that. So yours will be healthier and yours will be better. All right, cereals. The box cereals, they're horrendous. The price of the cereals is horrendous. So I've got here as an example, £1.85, which is an average box of cereal. £1.85 to £1.99 for a small half a kilo, sometimes 400 grams of cereal. This is just mediocre. Some of them are like £4 or £5. So approximately there's 6 servings in that box. So they'll make it roughly 30p per serving. So now, if you're talking about the oats, you can't get any better or any cheaper than that. We're talking about, say, 90p, I think, is the 1 kilo of oats. So depends what you want to have with them. You can have it by itself. You can have it with a bit of cinnamon. You can have it with a bit of jam, or you can have some raisins. So my point is, if you get yourself for £1.50, okay, you have yourself some raisins and some oats, okay, and you give yourself 10 to 15 portions of your breakfast, okay, and that, again, that works out to be, say, 10p per serving, 10, 15p per serving. So again, that works out half the price of the unhealthy cereals. And this is far, far better for you. So biscuits, I understand people like the treat, people like, to have a biscuit, I get it. But price of some biscuits is horrendous, again. And they all generally, the ones that are really expensive, only have like 6 biscuits in there, maybe 10 biscuits. Nonetheless, we're going for an average of £1 per pack, yields you 10 biscuits. So it's a 10p per biscuit. So now, as an alternative, you can make your own cookies, or the simple thing, again, healthier, more filling option, is to make yourself some oat biscuits. Again, very straightforward, kilos of oats and a peanut butter, mix that together, bake them, a bit of sugar. So basically, after working this out, okay, you're looking at from the kilo of oats and a little bit of sugar and the peanut butter, you can probably make yourself like 50 cookies, or, oat cookies, whatever you call them. And they'll work out about, 6p per cookie. I know not overly a huge saving, but you're gaining so much more for your money. And again, this is so much better for you. Say crisps, okay, and this is my big one, because a majority to where people always refer to crisps is the ultra processed food that people consume the most because it's cheaper, it's a snack, and if people can afford to eat, then they eat a pack of crisps and suddenly they're all fulfilled and happy. But again, see, I don't get that. The pack of crisps on average, okay, it's just over £2 for the pack of 6. There are some there that are £3.25, £3.45 for a pack of 6. So as a basics, we're talking about, works out to be 33p per bag of crisps. And as we know, shrinkflation, you will literally get like, a handful, sometimes like 5 or 6 crisps. So alternative, some people think, well, what else is as an alternative? Well, first of all, how about an apple or banana? You can get literally a bunch of bananas for about 70p. You get about, 6, 7 bananas, 10p a banana. You can get some apples, or in fact, if you do really want to have something crunchy, you can get yourself some popcorn kernels, okay? £1.50 for half a kilo, a little bit of salt and pepper on the top, anything else you fancy. That'd be a far healthier snack. So when people say, oh my God, but people buy crisps because it's, cost of living crisis, and it's that much better because this is what people have to eat. Well, no, just consider a banana. I assure you that'll be far better for you. And this is what I don't like, when they tell us like it's a normality to resort to that because it's cheaper, when in fact it is not. So right, drinks. Again, we're talking about the sugary drinky stuff. Like 2-litre bottle, for example, of a cola or lemonade, whatever. It's basically 49 pence, give or take, whatever it is. So technically, some people drink this by a gallon, and some people buy the branded versions that are like £2.50 a bottle, which is, I think, is absolutely horrendous. And again, it's not filling. It's just, we've got, we already said we've got fizzy water with E numbers and God knows what in them. Well, consider drinking water, either sparkling water or the plain water. You can add on some lemon, okay, or you can buy yourself fruit tea, or you can buy yourself squash. In all honesty, I can assure you, your basic unfiltered tap water will be far better for you than the nonsense that in those fizzy drinks. Okay, just trust me on that one. So again, unnecessary, because we don't have to drink that. Our bodies doesn't need that, and it is cheaper just to drink water with a bit of lemon. And the lemon water is actually good for you. So next thing, we're talking about the ready meals. And again, I don't know what they're referring to by ready meals, frozen or fresh, but again, looking online for that supermarket. So on average, a fresh ready meal, the basic one, is about £3.50. But I did see some that are 99p. They're quite small, generally vegetarian, like a pasta dishes with some E numbers and some chunks of pre-processed meat. But generally, yes, the cheapest one is 99p. So it's hard to compete with that with meat, but as I said, they're not. So things like doing some stews, okay, you have to batch cook things. So you can get some potato, you can get grains, a little bit of vegetables. At the same time, even the basic pasta that you can get for, say, 40p for half a kilo, with a basic of tomato sauce, make the batch, freeze that, it'll still be cheaper. It'll still work out cheaper than that. And again, I understand the convenience if this is what you're buying this for, but this is not what we've been fed through the media. We've been told that this is cheaper and this is why people are resorting to doing this, which is not. Right, so the chicken nuggets. Again, I'm going with the frozen ones I talked about, the ones that are shaped like a tear shape. So they are approximately £1.49, okay, for 450 grams. The kiddies ones, which I've seen in Asda, that have different shapes, horrendous. We're talking about like £2.99 for about 10 nuggets, just because they're shaped into something else, but I haven't seen chicken inside whatsoever. Anyway, okay, so basically £1.49, you get approximately 20 nuggets, and they are like a dinky. Depending on the size of your portion, you're talking about what, maybe 6 nuggets? Do you know, depending how hungry you are, but we're talking about maybe 4 portions. I don't know, 3, 4, maybe 5 portions, depending. Anyway, it works out like 50, 60, maybe 70p per portion, depending how much of them you're consuming. So now, if we consider of the alternative, will be, well, how about you make your own chicken nuggets, okay? And it doesn't have to be complicated. You can buy yourself, so a chicken, £2.49. I've seen you can buy the basic chicken breasts, okay? You can put some breadcrumbs on top, obviously egg, breadcrumb, flour, but you don't have to, okay? You can just breadcrumb them, it will stick. If you do this in an air fryer, that works. If you want to stretch this a little bit further, you can actually add on some vegetables or some potato to the chicken nugget if you do want to put the chicken through the processor. And I've showed you how I've done this for my little one when she was younger. So you basically process the raw chicken with some vegetables and then you shape them. At least this way you know that the chicken's in there is actually real chicken. And those 2 chicken breasts could really go a long way by you introducing some extra soft vegetables when you shape them, okay? So basically, as we said, they're 50, 60, 70p. You can get this down to 30 to 40p per portion, much healthier portion, okay, by doing this yourself. The next thing, yogurts. Again, it's really difficult. So rough idea or price of a yogurt, the kind that you get, is probably about 50p. If you have a look again what's in them, like I said, it's the sugars, additives, pre-processed, God knows what, in numbers, all sorts, and tons of sugar. And again, even the ones that claim to be really, really healthy, they're just not. They're just full of stuff that we don't want. So alternative to that is to make your plain yogurt. Just make it, if you do want to eat yogurt, then make your yogurt. Like I showed you guys before, I make my own yogurt from milk. You get yourself the one of the lactobacterias, put this in there, and then, not lactobacteria, sorry, but the fermenting bacteria for the milk, and it'll create a yogurt. And next time you do the batch, keep the spoon of that, and you have constant supply of your yogurt. If you do feel like you want to have some sweetness to it, you can add on honey, you can add on jam, really, if you have to, or you can cut some of your own fruit to make it. Again, this just makes it so much healthier. And the portion wise, again, we can cut not the portion, but the price per portion. We can pretty much cut this by half, depending what you add to it. And the last one, guys, are talking about the prepackaged sandwiches. Again, so meal deals, I don't know what the meal deals now, but an average sandwich vary from, I think, for like £2 to like £3.49. Sometimes like £4 something, I think in Tesco's I've seen. So horrendous amount. And I get it, it's pre-packaged, pre-done for you, so it saves yourself time, but it's convenience food. And quite often, if you remember, comes with a dollop of E. coli in the lettuce or the tomatoes. It's, happened more than once. So the point is, okay, £2 to £3 per one sandwich. That's quite a lot of money for what it is, considering you can buy, say, a loaf of bread, the very basic one from, say, Tesco's at 70p. You can buy a whole block of cheese for £2.50. So you can see already, you can make yourself a good 6-7 sandwiches just as basics. Yes, bread still still got stuff in it, but point is, far, far cheaper. You can go to the extreme of baking your own bread. It will be even better. You totally cut out all the nonsense that is in the processed bread. But the point is, you can even put the tuna mayonnaise in your sandwiches. Do you know what I mean? It's all going to be far better, and certainly will work out cheaper than your £2 or £3 per sandwich. So there we are, guys, right? So this is kind of covers. And the point of this video, as I said, I just wanted to let you know that if you see this and people saying, or whoever's pushing this agenda, saying it's okay, people eating processed food because, well, the real food or the healthier food is that much more expensive. Well, it is not. And I think it's done for the reason of, for some reason, to tell us that it's okay to eat the rubbish food, because this is what they want us to do, that they want us to eat the unhealthy foods, because in the end, well, we all know where that leads to, don't we? So anyway, the point is, okay, that's hopefully helped some of you to maybe make some better choices. If you potentially haven't thought of replacing certain things because they are quite a lot of money, well, hopefully they give you an idea that maybe you can save a bit of money by swapping to something a little bit more healthier. Yes, I understand, replacing your sugary cereal with the oats might not be a thing for everybody, or eating a banana rather than a pack of crisps. It also might not be there, but I just don't want to, or don't like to hear from the media and from people that are of importance to telling us that it's okay, people eat ultra-processed foods because it's that much cheaper, because clearly it is not. So anyway, guys, I'm going to stop talking now. I do apologize. It is a lengthy video, but needed to be done. So please don't forget, thumbs up, subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye-bye.